I know what you're thinking, SpongeBob on a Crash Bandicoot channel? Don't worry, I'm still only going to be posting Crash videos, just with an extra video like this once a month or so. I just want to play and review some of these classic games that I missed out on, and I feel like they fit very well here. Because even though it's not Crash, they're games that you've probably played before, or if not, you'd be interested in them. Some of the games I plan on covering are Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper. I feel like Crash fans would be interested in that, so again, just Crash content with one of these like once a month or something. Anyway, we're starting this little mini-series off with SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. That is a long name. A remake of a classic game from the PS2 days which I never played. I think I played the SpongeBob movie game instead. After seeing all the love the original gets and watching a bit of gameplay, I was interested in it, so I got it for the Switch. I didn't get it for the Xbox or PC just because I wanted the portability the Switch offers. Yeah, there's graphics downgrades on this version, but it's just the type of game I'd rather have on the Switch. The biggest downgrade I noticed were the shadows. They looked very pixelated at times, and I wasn't comparing it to any other version. I just sort of saw it and thought, yeah, it probably shouldn't look like this. It's not just the shadows, the same goes for the text and images that are in the game itself in the levels. I mean, I guess they had to do something to fit this game on the Switch. So for anyone unfamiliar, the way that you beat this game is by collecting golden spatulas, which are the main collectible item in the game. There's 100 of these total scattered throughout the various locations that you play through. Some of them you can explore around and find, others you have to complete a task for a certain character or just a task in general. There's also 2 other ways you can get a few golden spatulas. Patrick will give you one for every 10 of his lost socks that you find. The socks are hidden in each area that you play in, and you have a counter which tells you how many you're supposed to be looking for in each place. The second way you can get golden spatulas is by paying Mr. Krabs shiny objects, which you can get from smashing things and killing robots. His prices are questionable, I'll say that. Oh, and you can also get one after each boss fight. Now the cool thing about this is that you don't need to play the locations in order. You need a certain amount of spatulas before you can access the areas, and you get to pick which one you want to do first if you have enough. That's nice if you want to skip a task or two. You can still progress with the game, get to the end, as long as you're getting the spatulas elsewhere. The game itself is gorgeous. It's so bright and colourful, exactly how this game should look. Looking back at the original, it's darker, it's not as vibrant, obviously just because of the technical limitations at the time, but I love these updated graphics. SpongeBob's Dream is my favourite visually, just look at this. In fact, not even just visually, this is one of the most fun levels in the game. It's one of the last areas that you go to and you get to travel to different characters' dreams. Squidward's Dream has some fun platforming, Sandy's is a slide level, and the beginning reminds me of something from Super Mario Sunshine. My least favourite area in the game would have to be Kelp Forest. This level was so confusing, it all looks the same. The Tiki Roundup challenge was quite frustrating as well. I want to share a little tip for anyone who just wants to get this area over and done with. If you throw a Tiki here, you can jump up and just get the golden spatula. You don't have to go through this task, thankfully. But I do like how you get to play through all of these classic SpongeBob locations from the show, like the Flying Dutchman's area, Rock Bottom, Goo Lagoon. You get to go into the Krusty Krab, Squidward's house. Even if it's not much, it's nice that it's there. Apart from a select few, most of the levels are quite fun. There's also these bus stop areas where you can switch to either Sandy or Patrick depending on the level. They both play differently to SpongeBob, so you'll need them for certain areas and tasks. Patrick can pick things up like the tikis, watermelons, which have a few different purposes. You can freeze water for a certain amount of time. Usually you have to find a sock or get to a hidden button or something. That's great and all, but I have one question. Where the fuck does this bus come from? Oh, and while we're talking about things that I liked, let's talk about the boss fights. Mate, these are some solid boss fights. I think I only got 1 or 2 of them on my first attempt. Especially the final boss fight against SpongeBob. It was alright until the last part where he chops the platforms. I swear I could never outrun it. Every single time it would catch up to me. The second half of that fight is definitely easier. I managed to do that part first try, but it was still good. The Patrick boss is split up, so you play as SpongeBob and Sandy, which switches things up. And again, they can be tough at times. Chances are you're gonna have to attempt them more than once. Now, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I feel like you move too slow in this game. Don't get me wrong, it's not a major problem or anything, it's not too slow, but just feel like I could be going a little bit faster than this. Maybe a run button or just increase the speed of walking. I get that it's a remaster, so maybe that's why they kept it the way it is, or maybe I'm the only one complaining here. It's just a bit annoying when you fall off a ledge or something and you have to go back. Thankfully though, there's teleportation boxes that you can go through to fast travel. They're not always exactly where you need them. You will have to walk a bit to get to them sometimes, but they're scattered around. You can also teleport to golden spatula locations after you've received the task, which helps when you want to go back to a certain area. You can go to any golden spatula location from wherever you are, which is nice. While I'm complaining, the load screens are also a bit annoying at times. Well, Lewis, maybe you should have got it on the PC then instead. Well, you know. On a scale of 1 to Wrath of Cortex, they're probably about here. Just like the character speed, it didn't ruin anything for me, but there were times where I died and got reset, not even that far away from where I died, and it takes like 15-20 seconds to come back. Another minor inconvenience is texture popping during cutscenes. Sometimes it takes 2 seconds or so for them to load in, which is a bit weird. Apparently that's something to do with the engine itself though, not just this game. Okay, am I done complaining? I think so. Overall, I enjoyed playing through this game quite a bit. I noticed it got quite a bit of flack at release, but I didn't really see why when I played it for myself. I didn't read any reviews, but I did hear about the 2 out of 10 that it got. 2 out of 10 is ridiculous. It's got issues on the Switch that I don't know if they're present in the other versions, but even with these issues I experienced, it is not a 2 out of 10. For someone who's just playing the game casually, not speedrunning, just going through it the way it's intended, it's a good game. The story is pretty basic, but good enough. You don't play a SpongeBob game for its intricate story. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this review, this first non-Crash related video on the channel. I'll do one of these reviews every month or so when I finish a game, but other than that, it's all Crash. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you all in my next video.